Good morning. I would like to welcome you to the Aurora Sports Park to mark the opening of the state's newest COVID-19 community testing. All of this happened in a very short amount of time, and I have a few words of appreciation today. Thank you to the Aurora City Council members who are here with us. I believe we have Council Member Marcia Berzins and Mayor Pro Tem Nicole Johnston with us. Thanks to Aurora City Manager Jim Twomley, Michael Lawson, Kendall Coca, the Aurora Communications Department, and other city staff, Colorado Department of Public Health and the Environment, and Mako Medical for scrambling to fulfill a giant request in short order. Thank you to the mayors from other Arapahoe County cities who have joined us today, and to Governor Polis for your tough decision-making and tireless efforts during this public health crisis. Governor Polis reached out to me recently to ask if the city of Aurora might have a location where we would host a community testing site. We are fortunate to have the perfect spot here on our 250-acre sports park. I would like to thank Governor Polis for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be with us today. This drive-up testing site is for everyone regardless of where you live, and especially for those with symptoms. It's open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. 7 days a week, and we know that hosting this site helps further the state's work to ensure that testing is widely available to everyone. We appreciate the Arapahoe County CARES funding that is supporting the site, and we are grateful to our partner jurisdictions for coming together with us to help spread the word and get people tested as we all work together to fight this pandemic. El día de hoy estamos abriendo un centro de pruebas en la ciudad de Aurora, COVID-19. El centro estará abierto toda la semana de 8 de la mañana a 4 de la tarde. Las pruebas son gratis y están disponibles para toda persona, especialmente ellos que tengan síntomas. Quisiera agradecer al gobernador Polis y su departamento de la salud pública estatal por su ayuda con este proyecto. Mil gracias, Governor Polis, el gobernador Polis.
Gracias, Mayor Coffin. Thank you, Mayor Coffin. So, testing here at the sports complex is free, easy, and quick. Those are the key things that we need to make sure we convey to people. People can come to the site and in a matter of minutes get tested. You don't have to fill out a lot of paperwork. It's free, easy, and quick. Part of the problem and part of the reason that we wanted to make sure that these sites are available is there's other private labs and testing that takes 8, 9, 10 days. These results should be in your hands within 3 days. The most would be 4, we hope 2, but it's 2 to 3 days. You get the results, which is much better than 9, 10 days. Very important. Free, quick, easy. You can be in and out in 15 minutes at this drive-through site. It's open to anyone. You don't need to be you don't need to show health insurance or state identification, and it's really important that people who have symptoms get tested. The symptoms look like the symptoms of the flu or a cold. They overlap with them. There's some symptoms that are more distinct to COVID-19, like loss of smell and a cough, but there's others like fever and stuffed up nose that could be a cold or it could be COVID. So if you have any flu-like symptoms or running a temperature, you want to get tested, and you want to get the results quickly, and you want to be in and out easily and quickly. I mean, this is you can be in and out in 15, 20 minutes, even quicker at times. So we're a state of local control, and we're so excited to partner with City of Aurora, Tri-County Health, Arapahoe County, and many others to be able to help meet the testing needs of the people of the state in a free, quick, and easy way. Now, it's important to know who is positive for coronavirus, but it's also important that we all take precautions in our everyday lives, like wearing masks, keeping our distance from others, washing our hands frequently, and avoiding mass spreader events, large events, right? A single large event, the virus can go from one person to 60 people or 80 people. So we all want to be careful in maintaining the social distancing and wearing the mask. And then the more that people are getting tested, the more information we have on the ability to track people, and the more people know that they would need to quarantine and avoid others. This is a very strange virus, right? For some people, it is deadly. Some are hospitalized. Others have minor symptoms or no symptoms. And so what's very important is if you are in that minor symptom category, you get tested, because what might be minor for you might be deadly to your spouse or your sister or your friend. And that's why it's so important to get tested if you're experiencing symptoms. In addition to those experiencing symptoms, another good reason to get tested is if you think you've been exposed to the virus. Now, you don't go in the next day, you don't go in 2 days later, you go in a week later. So if you've been exposed, if somebody was coughing on you at work, you go in 7 or 8 days later, and you can get tested for your peace of mind, and also determine whether in fact you have it. So if you think you were exposed, go in a week after you were exposed to get tested. Or if you develop symptoms, go in earlier, right? You could develop symptoms as soon as 4 days after being exposed. Often it's 4 to 10 days. But if you don't have symptoms, but you think you were exposed, you can go in a week later, get a free, quick, easy test here at the Aurora Sports Park. Este es un sitio, Aurora Sports Park, donde pueden tener una prueba de coronavirus gratis, rápido y fácil. Necesita solamente 15 minutos, no necesita ser ciudadano, no hay muchos papeles, es muy rápido para dar la prueba y también para recibir las resultas, hasta 3 días, no más que 4 días, 2-3 días van a recibir las resultas. So again, there's a lot of types of ways you can get testing across our state. Obviously, if you have a primary caregiver, you can get testing there. Community health clinics, community testing sites. But what we want to make sure is people have access to quick, free, easy testing, because people live busy lives. We get that. And here at the Aurora Sports Park, residents from who come here are able to get free, quick, easy testing. 15 minutes, you get it back in 2-3 days, no more than 4. Very little paperwork. You don't have to show any ID. We just want to make sure that people who are contagious with coronavirus know that sooner rather than later, to help make sure that we can get back our lives, get our economy going, and move forward here in Colorado. Thank you. I think Mayor Coughlin's going to be tested now.
Thank you. Okay, I would like to introduce Dr. John Douglas, Executive Director of Tri-County Health Department, who has been a tremendous partner for the city of Aurora in working with us, and he will talk about why and how we test. Dr. Douglas.
So good morning, everybody. A real pleasure to be here at this fantastic facility with 2 distinguished elected officials who are bilingual. I wish I could say what my remarks in Spanish. I'll have to restrict myself to English. As the governor's really said, testing is a critical tool to help us stop the spread of COVID in Colorado and to keep our communities open, our businesses, our schools, other community institutions. We test so that people who are positive can get appropriate care and take precautions to avoid infecting other people by isolating themselves. Testing can just as importantly help people figure out that they're not currently infected and not contagious to others. So whether it's a positive result or a negative result, if we get it back as fast as the mayor and the governor have indicated, it will be useful. Testing is particularly important for people experiencing the symptoms of COVID. The governor went through these. There are a broad range of symptoms. We think of flu-like symptoms. We think of loss of taste and smell. We actually even think of things like the common cold. So the more we can get those folks that are symptomatic in for quick and rapid turnaround testing, the better. And as the governor pointed out, testing is also important for those who've been exposed to somebody with COVID, and that's particularly true for household contacts. If you're living with somebody who's been diagnosed with COVID, it can really help you. The how we test is really dependent upon the kind of testing we have available, and I want to say the gold standard is what Mako Medical is offering here. It's a PCR test. You're going to get to see Mayor Kaufman undergo the test. As the governor said, it's quick. Testing as soon as your symptoms develop, or if you've been exposed to somebody, that 7-day period that the mayor talked about is really essential to keep the virus from spreading. Finally, testing really helps me, running Tri-County Health Department, and our staff do the best job possible with case investigation, finding out where you might have caught it, finding out who you might have exposed, and then contact tracing, identifying individuals who have been exposed so they can take precautions and quarantine themselves and ideally get tested as soon as their symptoms develop. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Douglas, and thanks for your tireless efforts during this difficult time. Mayor Pico from the City of Centennial to talk about why the site is good, not just for the City of Aurora, but for the region.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie Pico. I'm the mayor of the City of Centennial, and this location is very beneficial for all of the citizens of Aurora and Arapahoe County. This is why we work together as a region in order to come up with solutions that will meet the needs of our community. As the governor stated, this test will be rapid, it will be easy for people to get, and it will give people in our community the confidence that they need to go forward with their lives, re-engage in our economy, and get back to work. So thank you very much for being here. We appreciate the time.
Mayor Jerry Valdez from the City of Littleton, on why we must all work together to flatten the curve.
Thank you, Mayor. Jerry Valdez with the City of Littleton. But thank you to the citizens of Arapahoe County for doing what it takes, for doing what it takes to reduce the new cases in Arapahoe County. What you're doing is making a difference. Because of personal responsibility for your own health, you're making it safer for the people around you. Thank you very much for this facility, Governor and mayors. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and I think I'll be tested in a minute here. Thank you, Mayor Valdez, and thank you again to everyone who came out today to mark the opening of this new community testing site for COVID-19. And as we join the state in working together to fight this pandemic, remember, testing is free, and you do not need a doctor's referral, health insurance, or identification. As the governor said, it's free, it's easy, and it's rapid. We know free testing is critical during this public health crisis as we work to prevent the spread of this disease while allowing increased economic activity while keeping the numbers down. Thank you, and I'm going to be tested.
All right, Mayor, you ever had this done before?
Nope.
Okay, it's not as painful as people make it out to be, okay? I'm going to do both nasal cavities. I'm going to start with the outside one first, give you a second to collect yourself, and then do the other one, okay?
I think there's a mistake. I think it's all members of council.
Oh, yeah, we get everybody. Let's go. The more the merrier.
Okay.
All right, sir. All right, ready? I'm going to do the next one. Great job, sir. It's not nearly as tough as boot camp, is it? No. That's right. Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that concludes our program. Are there any questions?
See how quick that is, everybody? I mean, that's really quick. Just boom.
Okay.
Is there a difference between the swabs that go further up the nasal canal as opposed to the ones that kind of swirl lower in the
So-
Governor and Dr.
Yeah,
Douglas.
so the state uses a lot of different kinds of tests. We have saliva tests, We have the deep nasal pharyngeal test. We have the nasal swab test. All of these are validated in our state lab, so we can be confident on the results. So we are using one of the very best labs to analyze these results, and the accuracy has been validated in our state lab a number of times. It's quick, it's easy, it's free, it's accurate. And that's why we've chosen this particular test at this site. Depending on supplies, they could at different times be using slightly different versions of the test.
Any other questions?
Any plans for anything further east in terms of a testing site like this along I-70 or anything?
Governor? We don't have any plans for the Aurora.
With the other one that we're launching today is west. It's at Water World. Water World parking lot will have one similar to this. There are plans for several others in other parts of the state in the coming days. So by the end of this week, we hope to have a series of several of these sites in different parts of our state that are quick, easy, and free that people can go to and get tested. So we're looking up and down the Front Range and the population centers. But today, Waterworld here, Pepsi Center already exists, and there'll be one further south that we announce later this week.
Anything else? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Governor.
I hope you're negative.
Yeah, all of us do.